we're saying how the consciousness is in the shadow. I remember when I was in Radha Damodar, a nice experience when you live amongst devotees who know a lot of Shastra and know a lot about Sadachara and Vaishnava behavior. Even as simple as devotees, they often know very much about Sadachara, which is ultimately all behavior, all spiritual behavior and divine activity is based on some type of Shastric law or some Shastric principle. We may not know the principle or the rule or the law behind bindi. Oh, bindi, oh, my mother said I'm married, I should put bindi. Boink, dink. I put this red kumkum between my eyebrows. But the principle is that this is the pineal gland, this is the seat of inspiration, the seat of meditation, concentration. This is the Agya chakra point. Many things. And then it goes into a long, the tradition, history, and meaning and significance, and ultimately some shastra about putting the bindi, on the sati, on the married woman. It's not just a Hindu ritual. Actually has a science behind it. Just like we put on tilak on 12 parts of the body. Om Narayana, Om Madhavaya, Om Govindaya, Vishnuvaya, Vamanaya, Damaraya, Adonaya, Sriraya, Rishikeshaya, Manasudan, Sri Vikramayana, Keshavaya. We don't usually do Vasudeva, we do Keshavaya. So why that's the kavacha. This is called mantra kavacha. First we're chanting names of Bhagavan. If you read in the sixth canto of Bhagavatam, the Dichi Muni, they got his bones and all these things. And Indra, he wanted a kavacha so he could kill the Vritrasura. So then he got the bones of the Dichi and he chanted this Narayan kavacha. Sixth canto of Bhagavatam. Well, kavacha means armor, protection. So by mantras, so we're putting on tilak. Oh, we're in Vaishnava. These are the Vaishnav Chinna, tilak dharan. And one of the Pancha Sanskaras of Diksha, when you receive Vaishnav Diksha, most all the Vaishnavas, if you're a Brahmin, you receive Upanayanam from your father. You're born a Brahmin, you receive Upanayanam, or a Vaishya or a Kshatriya can receive Upanayanam from a Brahmin at the age of 12. But otherwise, as far as Diksha, Mantra Diksha, then you follow the Pancharatrika system, and different Pancharatra literatures like Narada Pancharatra and others. So therefore there's five purificatory rites, Pancha Samskara. One is called the Non-Samskara, and Mantra Samskara, and the Tilak Samskara, and then Vaishnav Chinna Samskara, all these things. So these are purification things. So one is Tilak, so the Guru puts the Tilak, or different ways they go about it. I know that Natadas used to put on the tilak on the ladies and gents, but different devotees do it in different ways. And it's different missions. Every mission, every parivar has its own. It's called tilak dharana. Dharana means what type of mark they have. Like they have the Vanspatra tilak. Vans means banyan, bamboo leaf. Bamboo leaf is very narrow and pointed. So Nitai Parivar, they have Vanspatra. And Vaita Parivar, they have Vatpatra. Basically like a heart, like heart, heart. And then they have different types. Here and there, you see many types of tilaks indicating the particular. Shamananda has Nupur. Shamananda, different parivars have this type of Nupura tilak. Maybe Swami Haridas also. Swami Haridas, I think they have some type of Nupura, like some type of U, some Urdhva some type means upward, some type of U going down the nose, and maybe there's a little dot at the end which represents an ankle bell tilak. Maybe Lalita Sakhi's ankle bell or something, because Swami Haridas is Lalita Sakhi. They have that idea. Well and good. So then, of course, Shamananda Parivar. So Sometimes they say Sampradaya, but it's Gaudiya Sampradaya. Shamananda Parivar, Shamananda Sampradaya. They wear the Nupura tilak that Radharani put on his forehead. And the tilak stali is right there. Have you visited it? You take a stick there and fight the monkeys. It's right, can say, next to Shamananda Samadhi, on the east side of the road leading between Loy Bazaar and Yamuna ultimately, but you go by Shamasundar Mandir, then Damodar, then Shringharbad, or down to that other Ras Mandal and that way, Chirgat. So that tilak stali is there. So we're talking about Chaya. So the consciousness is in the shadow, and that's to be respected of all living entities. You shouldn't step on the shadow of a cow or a Brahmin. Shouldn't step on the shadow of a dog either. Because the consciousness is there. Well, as I was saying, when I was living in Radha Damodar temple, I was standing, there's a veranda between Prabhupada's kitchen and his sleeping quarters, and his darshan room and his, I guess, office, whatever, then his kitchen. Kitchen was only basically kitchen and taking prasad. The other room he slept in, translated and did his work there. And sometimes slept on the veranda between the two rooms. So I was standing in the courtyard in Kartik, near that, just next to that veranda, in the courtyard of the temple. It was Kartik, and it was darshan time in the evening, 4:30. And I noticed everyone's going around Prikrama, going along the wall, doing the Prikrama, 4 Prikramas of Damodar Mandir. And then they went by Prabhupada's kitchen, and then they're walking along the wall. Then they were all walking out in kind of the middle of the courtyard, and then back, because there used to be a tulsi in 4 corners of the courtyard. I don't know what's going on now, but in old days, actually when I came in 77, right near Prabhupada's room, and in the courtyard side where the Thakurji is, not Samadhi, there are 4 stumbas, and there was 4 tulsi plants in 77, and on the stamba in front of Prabhupada's room, the Govardhan Shila was there with tulsi. And everyone just touch the footprint and take charna, put water, then take charnamrita. Then he went inside and opened the curtain to give 100 rupees and get darshan. Shila. That thing's strange. So they were walking along, they're coming through the door there into the temple courtyard, going along, then going like this and back to the Tulsi Stamba right there by Prabhupada's room. It was, I don't know now. And I was looking, and I was talking to someone, and I saw everyone was going that way. So we were standing here. 2 people were talking, and our shadow was here. And everybody was coming in like this and going like this, and nobody was going next to us. This is our shadow. This is the shadow. It looks like, no? One guy was here, standing in the courtyard of the temple. This is the door into the temple from the Samadhi. And usually they would go like this along the wall. By that Tulsi, by this Tulsi, and go like that, by that Tulsi, and then like that. Yeah? Radha Damodar. And so I was looking, I said, oh, sure. There's no one stepping on our shadow. So then I inquired from some learned Vaishnava. I said, yeah, the shadow is, that's aparad. Shadow is consciousness. Chit Shakti. So I was explaining that point in part 1 about the shadow. But then if you think about it a little deeper, then about how everything is conscious, there's either the personal conception of reality and the universe, or the impersonal conception. In part 1 we were saying that this entire material universe is like a plastic ball, like a beach ball, or sometimes in a swimming pool they have these little plastic balls, red and yellow and blue and and they float along on the pool, and you hit it, boom, and it goes over there, and the guy hits it, and goes boom. You know? So this whole universe, this whole jagat, it's like a little beach ball floating in an ocean of consciousness. One saint I know told me this. I said, this is very nice. So the foundation of everything and what's surrounding everything and what's surrounding all of us is consciousness. Whether we perceive it or whether we feel it or whether we see it, that's another thing. Depends on the extent and depth of our own consciousness. That's why Krishna says, everything is within me and I am within everything. That's not only true for Bhagavan, it's even true for the self-realized soul. Everything is within and everything is without, because of consciousness. So then we think of the planet. Oh, that's just a planet. It's a ball of fire. It's so many millions of nuclear reactions going on and giving off this intense heat. It's a sun planet. And we read this in science, in 5th grade science book, astronomy, and so many things we learn that very small knowledge. Very narrow-minded, very narrow-view knowledge. Limited tunnel vision of reality. Small, looking through a little tube. You put a little straw on your eye. You take a straw or a pipe, and you put it on your eye. Oh, this is the reality, huh? Not much going on out there. Just a little circle. So, we find as we learn more that the sun planet is a conscious being is there, and even many conscious beings, and they have a special bodies made of fire, and our body is made of water, 70% water, and their body is made of fire, 100% fire, consciousness and fire. Our body is consciousness and water and some fire, not much, especially as you get older. The fire goes less. So there's Di-Agni, fire of the brain, and Ak-Agni, fire of the eye, and fire of the belly. They all go, can't remember, can't see, can't digest. Welcome old age. Here we go. Sooner than later. So it's everything at every moment is a gift of God. A young man can become retarded if God wills. A genius can become a fool in 1 second. Paralysis of the brain, stroke. It's all very delicate balance. Someone is always in Dainyabhav. Hey Bhagavan, whatever you want. Whatever you give, it's your gift. Whatever you take, it's your will. Whatever I have, it's your mercy.